made a card with some new products that will be available beginning on July 6th for customers to purchase. These are available actually for demonstrator pre-order right now. So if you join, I'll talk in a second about that joining promotion that Stampin' Up! Has going on. But if you joined during the month of June, you can actually add these products as part of your starter kit. So that's always very exciting, and definitely love doing, getting new things, and getting them as part of a starter kit is even better. So you can get a little demonstrator discount for yourself. So hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in. So this is the card we're going to be making today, and it features a lot of new things. It's not all brand new, but a lot of it is. So it's got some new designer series paper on it. It's got a new image, stamp set, some new little embellishments. So lots of fun things on it. Anyway, so let's get going. Take a quick look at the stamp set. Hey, Danette, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you like the card, Carol. So it was pretty easy actually to put together. You'll see in a second. It's mostly the designer series paper and one kind of image stamped and a sentiment, and that's it. So hey, Jan, thanks for hopping in. So this is the Horse and Sleigh photopolymer stamp set. Again, this will be available as an online exclusive starting on July 6th for customers to order. And it has a coordinating die set with it, which is also called Horse and Sleigh. And the open images obviously will cut out your stamped images. And then there are some accessory pieces. I'll show you this one today. There's a little tree. There's something that looks like, I think it's supposed to look like kind of wind or snow or whatever blowing, some little snow hills. But otherwise, it's a good little set. And like I said, then there's the cool paper that coordinates with it, and I'll show you a couple pieces of that here as we start working on the project. A couple other things that I used on this, on the background. I don't know how well you can see it on the card. I'll try to hold it up here for a second and maybe tilt it just a little, so hopefully you can it catches the light just right. But I did emboss the background of the card front with the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. So this is one that is in the current annual catalog, and it's a really good one. It's one of a little more muted background, but it's a really cool embossing folder. And then I also used I'll flip it over so you can see it a little bit better, the Banners Pick-a-Punch, and I used that to punch the banner end on my sentiment. So I used the one that actually looks like the banner. This one makes it more of like an arrow shape. So I know, Carol, I was pretty excited to get started going a little early on the Christmas cards too, because yes, I have a big stack of them to make, and it's always nice to get started a little early on them. All right, a couple things before a little bit of promotion, and if you're not a demonstrator, Steve has a really great promotion going on. And hey, Lisa, thanks for hopping in. And with your starter kit, you get $30 additional free product with Stampin' Up. Hopefully the video is okay. It's looking a little not awesome on my computer, so I'm hoping y'all can see it okay. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix it. We have like a thunderstorm going through right now, so I'm hoping that the video just holds. So, because yeah, definitely good. So, anyway, so Stampin' Up does have looks fine, good. I'm glad, Teresa. Maybe it's just my internet here at home that's acting up. So, it does have a joining promotion going on where you get $30 additional free product in your starter kit, which is always a good thing. So normally you get to pick $125 worth of merchandise. It's $99, and the kit ships for free. Right now, you get to pick $155 worth of whatever product you would like. Still, it's just $99, and the kit still ships for free. So that's definitely an awesome thing. And then Stampin' Up! Also during the month of June has a designer series paper sale going on. So there are 13 packs of paper that are 15% off for the month of June. If you have not seen those, definitely go out, take a peek, and yeah, go grab some pretty papers. And then the last thing, and I'm going to show you most of the products here, but Stampin' Up! Does have some new online exclusives that will be starting here in July. So July 6th, these will be available for customers to order. So there's the open horse, I keep calling it that, One Horse Open Sleigh Suite Collection, which has got the bundle, designer series paper, and then the adhesive snowflakes, or you can get them all individually as well. So whatever works best for you. So weather's crazy in Vegas. Okay, so it's not, I don't know. It started to sprinkle a little, then the next thing you know is thunder and lightning and all sorts of crazy going on around here. So, all right, and then there's the Timeless Charm bundle, which is also a really cute one and a really pretty one, and I use that on a card that I'll be sharing with you next week. So, again, there will be more to the online exclusives than just the products that I'm showing you here, but these are definitely going to be available starting on the 6th of July. All right, so let's get going on the card. I have got a Misty Moonlight card base, and then I have got a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock that I went ahead and pre-embossed with the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. This is cut to the card front size, so it should be the card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25 in the middle. So this is a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock that's cut to about 4.25 by 5.5, and it should fit over the entire card front. And we'll see if I can keep the glue on the card front today rather than all over my grid paper like it was last time. So. All right. Oh, thanks so much, Bonnie. I appreciate that. So just going to glue that together here with the liquid glue. And I do tend to use liquid glue at a minimum because I usually make a mess with it. But it is nice for putting on card fronts and doing things like this where you need just a little second of wiggle room to make sure you have everything on here straight before it's stuck down for good. So it's really hot in Holland. It's kind of cool here in New Jersey today. So I can't complain about the temperature. It's just weird weather. All of a sudden, kind of out of the blue, a little rainstorm. So yeah, no mess today. So yay, I'm glad about that. All right, so I've got two pieces. These are both from that pretty new One Horse Open Sleigh 6x6 Designer Series paper pack that'll be available. It's beginning on the 6th of July. Hey, Carol, thanks for hopping in. So this is one of the panels, so this is another. And then this one actually is a slightly different panel that I used on my For Real card. So yeah, that's it's a really cool pack of paper. I'll show you the flip sides of these. This one has got like a little winter scene on it, and then this one's just a little more neutral, which it's a really good pack of paper, so you definitely need to just get it. So it is a good embossing folder. It's one of them that's it's kind of easy to use on the, as a background to a lot of things because it's just a little more muted, but yet gives it enough texture that it shows that there's something there. So it's a good bundle. You're going to love it. So definitely you're going to want to get your hands on it. So I'm glad you're here joining live today. All right. So this, I forgot to say, this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I may have said it. I started to say it and then got distracted. But 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Both of these panels are cut to that size. And I'm going to stick this one on intentionally kind of crookedy. That was the layout that I wanted, is the crooked on the back, straight on the top one. So I'm not putting it on crazy just because. And then I'm going to take the other one, again, just using a little Stampin' seal, and we are adhering the two together. And, whoop, just going to take that and layer it right over the top. And again, try to get it centered and fairly straight. And it's a little challenging sometimes when you've got the background panel that's on a little crooked, but I think it doesn't matter. Nobody will be able to tell if it's exactly straight. All right, let me set that aside and we'll do a little bit of stamping and a little bit of coloring. So I've got Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I've got the larger image, and it's actually kind of a huge image. I don't want to say, it's not like too big for a card front, but it's definitely a good sized image. You kind of need to have a horizontal card in order to be able to get it to fit on it. So I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and this is the image from the Horse and Sleigh stamp set. Just inking it up really well here, and then I'm going to stamp it on basic white cardstock. So give that a second, a little smoosh down. Looks like we got a pretty good image on that one. Then we're going to start doing a little coloring. I've got a whole stack of Stampin' Blends markers that I'm going to pull in here. I'm going to start with Wild Wheat, which is one of the new in colors, and I'm going to color, I've got the light Wild Wheat that I'm starting with, and I'm just going to color in the sleigh. And I used light on the bottom part of the sleigh, and then the dark Wild Wheat to color in kind of that little, whatever, the edge. I'm sure there's probably an official, like the little rolled part of the edge. So I use that to color, I use the dark Wild Wheat to color that in. So just going to go over this really quickly. And then if you have anything where it, maybe didn't color as nicely, you've maybe got some lines or anything like that in it that you don't necessarily want, what I tend to do when I color in these larger images like this is I'll just go over it a second time with that same color. It darkens it a little, but then it also usually takes out most of the little kind of lines or things that you see and that don't look quite perfect. So then I've got dark Wild Wheat, and oh yeah, definitely yay for Christmas cards. I know I'm excited to get going on them too. So always a good thing. At least I think I've got 3 of them done now, so that's always exciting. So since I make about, I don't know, 300 or so, it's kind of nice to get a little start on them a little early when it's still summertime. So, all right, and again, just using the dark wild wheat here. All right. And then I'm going to grab the Crumb Cake Stampin' Blends marker, and again, starting with the light. So I'm going to color in here the horse image. Ooh, I don't know if you can hear the thunder, but it's booming out there right now. So goodness. Like I said, I'm just hoping that if the video suddenly goes out, you'll know why, because yeah, we're in the middle of a thunderstorm. So, we're starting our Christmas cards tonight. That's exciting, always good. Like I said, I love getting a little head start on those. All right. And again, crumb cake, if I didn't say that, I've got light crumb cake that I'm using to color in the body of the horse. And I'm not really spending a lot of time doing a bunch of shading or anything on it. If that is something you enjoy doing, you want to do take a little extra time coloring, you can definitely do that. I don't know, I tend to get the color on the image and call it good. So, all right. Again, I'm using light crumb cake to color in the horse image. And I think we got most of it done here. Hopefully I didn't forget any of the little parts. Then I'm going to come in with the dark crumb cake. And that is what I'm using to color in the mane and the tail. And then the hoofs, feet, whatever you want to call them. Horse's feet, hooves, I guess is the word. So just going to come down in here and add a little bit of the dark for the hoofs. And I've missed a spot here, I can see. So I'm just going to come back in with my light and fill in anywhere that I need to. And I think he looks all right. Next color up is Old Olive. So I'm going to use that to color in are these blinders? Whatever they call the things that they put over the horse's eyes so that they don't look, I don't know why. They don't look sideways. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. The accessory pieces on the horse, we'll just call it that. So then I'm just going to come in here and color in some of the little pieces on here. I think these are supposed to be kind of blankets and coats and things, but it's a little hard to tell exactly what's what in it. At least to me it was. So I just kind of colored in a few things in one color, a few things in another color, and then a third color. So I've got that was light Old Olive, and I'm going to come back in with a little bit of dark Old Olive to add that up here to the little coat image. And then maybe a little bit down here to give it just a little bit of definition. So, and then I'm going to come back in with the light and just do a little blending, trying not to have too harsh lines on it. All right. The next color I'm going to use is Real Red. And again, I'm going to start with the light Real Red. And we are going to color in the little hats here on both people. All right. I think we'll get that one done. And then the mittens, at least I'm calling them mittens and not hands because, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't entirely sure what was what. I just sort of colored things. Hopefully they weren't supposed to be, the driver's bare hands because normally they wouldn't probably be red like that. So, all right, I'm going to come back in here again with a little bit of the dark Real Red, kind of filling in a little bit of the shading, trying to give it a little bit of definition between the different images. And then come back in with the light and kind of blend things together. All right. And then the final color that I used, second to the last color that I used is Misty Moonlight. And just came in and colored whatever this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's part of the blanket. I don't know if it's supposed to be part of the sleigh. Whatever it is, I colored it Misty Moonlight. And then I was calling that part of a blanket for the person on this side of the sleigh. And again, just colored it with light and dark, the Misty, well, it's supposed to be Misty, no, wait a minute. This is Boho Blue, not Misty Moonlight. Sorry, I said the wrong color. So, all right. And these are all colors that are in the Designer Series paper pack. So I just grabbed coordinating markers with those. Then I've got the ivory marker from the Ivory and Bronze set and just using that to color in the faces on the little people. And that's all there is to this image. So there we go. I'm going to grab my die here that coordinates with it from the horse and sleigh dies, and I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, which is over here to my left, so I'll be off screen for just a second. I'll be right back. And I should show you, I finally broke down and got some new cutting plates so they don't look quite so awful anymore. Look at that, all shiny and, you know, pretty and not covered with what looks like dog chew marks on it like my normal ones do. All right, got that die cut, and we're gonna set that aside. And then I have got a little piece, I cut this ahead of time. This is from the gold foil sheets, and I adhered some of the, had adhered some of the adhesive sheets to the back of it before I die cut it. So hopefully I can get those peeled off here. So the adhesive sheets work really well on these kind of delicate little die cuts. Then you don't have to worry about getting glue stuck all over yourself and your fingers and everything else like I usually do, because I make a mess with liquid glue, particularly when I'm using it with the foil sheets. I don't know why I struggle with it so much on the foil sheets, but I somehow end up getting it all over the front of the foil sheets, which is not what I want. So I try to remember to use adhesive sheets when I'm going to do any die cutting with kind of thinner little dies like this. So yeah, it just puts a cute little bit of gold, or you can do silver, or you know, whatever color, little metallic on it. Now I'm going to grab some Stampin' dimensionals, and these are my chopped up half Stampin' dimensionals. So I'm just going to stick them sort of randomly all over the sleigh. So, oh, thanks, Carol. I'm glad you're liking it. It's like I said, it's, you know, the paper and the stamp set make it really easy to make pretty cards. So the hardest part for me was just sort of deciding what color to color everything. Because, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know what was what for sure when I was looking at it, at the images on the horse and the sleigh. But, yeah, so, but I think it worked out all right. And originally I had put silver on the runners for the sleigh, but I switched it to gold when I decided I was going to use wild wheat on it, because I thought that gave it more of a gold tone. Stuff stuck everywhere, good heavens. So, yeek, it's still thundering out there, yeesh. So, all right, we'll get that stuck on the card base. So, I mean, I love this paper. It's just so cool. It makes such an easy card. All you have to do is put a couple little images on it. You don't even have to put an image on it. You can just put a sentiment on it and be done, because it's such pretty paper. All right, next up, we're gonna do our sentiment. And this is a little piece, again, that was trimmed off from, I don't know, one of the pieces in the pack of one horse open sleigh paper that I've got. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide by about 3 inches long. And I'm gonna grab my Banner's Pick-a-Punch, and I'm gonna use the one that makes it do the banner end. Hopefully you can see, I know there's a little glare from the lights. And I'm just gonna slide this in and go all the way to the end with it and do a quick punch. Whoop, that's all kinds of crazy. Apparently I should have flipped it over when I first put it on here. Hopefully that'll fix it. It's all kind of crazy the other way. It's a little better. I don't know. Apparently I can't punch straight. Okay, let's try this one more time. And then we're calling it good no matter what result we get. That's better. All right. Some days, you know, some days are better than others. I didn't want to punch it keep punching it smaller and smaller, because then my sentiment wasn't going to fit on it anymore. Hopefully it still will. So, yep, ooh, it'll barely fit on there. So, okay, I'm going to I've got the little embossing buddy from the embossing accessories kit, or whatever they call it. So just put that on there in an effort to try to minimize the white embossing powder from getting everywhere. Does the DSP come with a suite? Yes, it does. If you buy the whole suite, you can also buy the designer paper pack individually. So if you'd prefer to do that, or if you want to get multiple packs of the paper, you can get it individually as well. All right, stamping it in Versamark ink, and we're going to do some heat embossing. Yep, it does come. Oh, thanks, Teresa. Glad that you saw that. It looked like you were commenting about the same time that I saw it. So, all right, and grab my white embossing powder from the Basics embossing powders, and we're just going to cover that well, shake it off. Looks like we got a pretty decent coverage on it. And I'm going to put the lid back on this before I send my embossing powder flying everywhere. Not that I've done that, but yes, I have more times than I would like to admit. And then I'm going to grab the heat tool. So the Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying and a level 2 setting for heat embossing. So, hey, Cheryl, thanks for hopping in from steamy Florida. It's like rain, stormy, and cool here in New Jersey today. So maybe we could kind of like mix our weather together and get a nice day out of it. So, oh, we've done quite a few Christmas cards. Oh, got a lot of carols. I don't know. Got thunder there too. So, all right. Level 2 settings for heat embossing. It gets a little bit warmer. And now that I've got a little smaller piece of paper that I'm dealing with here, hopefully I won't scorch my fingers. With the heat tool. Whoop, whoop. Come back here. Got it almost all the way done. There we go. Yeesh. Near catastrophe, near burned fingers, but I made it without. So, all right, that is my sentiment, and just going to give it a second here to cool before I lay it down and make sure that I don't smear it anywhere. And then I'm going to grab, again, a couple more of the Stampin' Dimensionals. These are my little half ones that I chop up because I like the half size better than the whole size. If you prefer the whole size, you certainly can use those, or you can use the mini dimensionals, whatever ones you prefer. I just like the size of these. I think they're perfect for everything. So, all right, and then I'm going to take this and stick it here over along the edge. Try to get it on here straight. And the final thing that I've got, and again, these are part of that same sweet collection. Again, you can also buy them individually. These are the Adhesive Back Snowflake assortment, and they are 3 different colors. So they have white, gold, and copper. And there are 3 different sizes, and they're just really pretty, a little pretty embellishment that you can add on. And I'm just going to add a couple of the gold ones to kind of try to pull in the gold from the little runner on the sleigh. All right, we'll tuck the one here up under the sentiment, and then one more over here in the corner, and we will call it good. Oop, I pulled that one right off the backing. Let's see if I can get the backing to come up. Come on, little fella. Well, maybe I can do it. Maybe I'll just grab a different one. There we go. Bend the backing, Amy. That usually works better. With these larger embellishments, I don't know if you saw what I did, but I accidentally pulled the embellishment off of the backing. Usually when I try to do these, I actually will bend the acetate paper and kind of peel it off rather than pull it like I did the first time, so that, you know, I don't rip the backing off like I had done there. Usually you can get them to work again if you kind of give it a good hard smush and then peel it off gently the next time. So I'll use that on the next card. All right. Still love heat embossing. You haven't mastered it. Oh, it is fun. It's one of those, yep, you can do all sorts of things with it. And yeah, it takes a little practice. I will say it does, but once you get the hang of it, you'll love it. A couple of tips when you are heat embossing is to make sure that number 1, your Versamark ink pad is inky, because if it is too dry, you will not get a nice solid image on it. And then the other one is to just to use that embossing buddy. That'll help a lot. And then just be very generous when you sprinkle on the embossing powder and tap off. I'm not very gentle when I tap it off. I usually like flick it with my finger and knock off all the excess powder, so that helps to get a good solid image as well. So hopefully that'll help you. Then I've got another sentiment from the Horse and Sleigh stamp set. This one says, wishing you a season of cheer. And I've got basic white cardstock. This is for the inside of the card. There we go. And that was Misty Moonlight ink, which I probably forgot to say because I got busy yucking. And then this is, again, it's just a little piece of the Designer Series paper pack that I had trimmed off for one of the card fronts. And we're going to go ahead and stick that down with a little Stampin' Seal. And I'm trying to keep my fingers away from the sentiment that I've just stamped, because it does take a second to dry, particularly when you're using the darker inks. Sometimes they smear a little bit easier than the lighter inks do, just because, yeah, I don't know. I have fat fingers and they like to smudge things. So, all right, this is, I don't know, it's probably about 5/8 of an inch wide, and it was about 6 inches long. We're just going to trim off the excess. So grab my paper snips and snip that right off, and then adhere it to the inside of the card, and we'll be all done for today. So, All right. All the details for this card are going to be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. I will link up directly to the blog post once it goes live, so you can come back and find all the cardstock cuts, the measurements, details for how to make it, find a PDF to recreate it, all that good stuff. Out on my blog tomorrow. So I'm going to flip this over since the front is dry embossed, not heat embossed. With the embossing folder, I'm going to try not to smash it. So I try to be a little careful. I flip it down, face down, and then use my bone folder kind of gently across the crease to get a good solid crease on it, but not smash the embossing. So there you go. Again, same basic layout of the card, just a little different designer series paper, and it gives it, I don't know, I think kind of a totally different look when you use this paper as opposed to this one. So you can decide which one you like better or make one of each and then do a few others too. So let me know if you have any questions about anything. Again, all the details will be posted on my blog tomorrow, and I'll link directly to it tomorrow in the description of this video. And I'll plan to be back live around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. Next week, Friday, I'm actually going to be out of town, so I won't be live, but I will plan to be live the following Tuesday. So thanks again for checking out my video. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will chat with you all soon.